Well, hi there. This is Caleb Jones, and welcome to yet another wonderful, life-changing, orgasmic podcast, the Alpha Male 2.0 podcast, where we talk about location-dependent income, dating multiple attractive women with no drama, no cheating, no bullshit. See, I can swear now on YouTube because I don't care about the algorithm. Isn't that great? And living the freest lifestyle a man can live. Now, mission. I talk a lot about mission. Mission. You have to have a mission. What is a mission? Your mission is why you live, why you work. If I ask you, why do you work? And you say, I got to pay my bills. That's not a mission. That is surviving. That is not living. That is existing. That is not living. A life lived means you are in pursuit of something. It means you are trying to express something. It has meaning, deep meaning to yourself. So that's what a mission is. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you really should get my book, The Unchained Man. It's only $7 at alphamalebook.com. It will change your life. An entire chapter on mission, plus a bunch of other stuff. And one of the most common questions I get is, I have one hair that keeps going in my face as I bounce my head around. I move around a lot when I talk. I have a lot of energy. I can't find my mission. I don't know what my mission is. I don't know what my passion is. I wrote Caleb, I did all your exercises. Here's the thing. Caleb, I did all the exercises your book, and I still have no idea what my mission is and what my reason for living is and reason for work and my passion. I don't know what it is. Now, first, right off the bat, I will say, and I will actually update, when I update The Unchained Man, hopefully this year, hint, hint, I will put this edit in there. If you're under the age of 30, you don't have to have a mission because you probably don't know yet. I didn't know, and I was pretty far beyond most people in their 20s and when I was in my 20s. I mean, by the time I was in my 27 years old, was making multi-six-figure income, had a wife, 2 children, a big fancy house, companies. I was a little ahead of my time in terms of where most guys were. And even I didn't know what my mission was. It wasn't until I was about 33. So if you're 29 or under, guess what? You're exempted from having a mission, although you should give some thought to it. It's still important, and you should definitely have long-term goals. Plans, goals, all those things. Yes, yes, yes. Now, if you're a 30 or older, sorry, you have to have a mission. No more excuses for you. And frankly, you should start thinking about it around 27, 28, in my view. So when people say, I don't know what my mission is, or I don't know what my passion is, that'd be the more traditional word used outside this community, right? I saw someone on the internet a little while back, and he encapsulated something that I have said historically, but I said it in 3 paragraphs, and he said it in 1 sentence or 2 sentences. I went, oh my God, that's perfect. Next podcast, perfect, because I get a lot of questions about this. I don't know what my passion is. I don't know what my mission is. I don't know what I don't know. And Caleb, that's a common one. I did all your exercises. I don't know. All right. If you don't know what your mission is, or your passion, if you want to use that, if that's an easier word to digest for you, they're used interchangeably in this context. If you don't know what your mission is, especially if you followed my content and you've done a bunch of the exercises in my books and you still have no idea, then that means you're not doing anything to discover what your mission actually is. Caleb, yes, I am. I did your exercises. No. I'm saying you're not experiencing anything in life to assist you to discover what your passion or your mission is. You know what you're fucking doing all day? This is what most of you are doing all day. You're going to your bullshit corporate 9-to-5 job or your bullshit gigs, your Uber and your DoorDash and all that other bullshit. You're doing that all fucking day long. Then you go home, eat a little dinner, and then you play video games all night. Or something similar, or watch Netflix, whatever the fuck you're doing. Smoke weed, whatever. That's all you're doing 5, 6, 7 days a week. That's all you're fucking doing. You're not doing anything else. Go out into the world and start doing shit. Now, that doesn't mean you need to leave your house, although often you will. Go out in the world and experience new things. Talk to new people. I know if you're an introvert, that might not be very exciting. There's a lot of other things. Read different books. Consume different content. So if all you consume is red pill content, for fuck's sake, maybe consume some other shit like history or science or really high quality fiction. Not today's fiction. The Western world's collapsing. Fiction from years ago. Whatever, man. Something else. Read about gardening, for fuck's sake. It doesn't matter. Something different. Get out of your circle. My dad was a psychologist for over 40 years. Very wise man, my dad. And he would tell me this all the time. When I was a young man and a kid, he's like, Caleb, sometimes you got to get out of your circle. You're stuck in your circle. You got to get out. Your brain starts to rot when you're in your circle. And what you're doing is your brain is rotting because you're not getting out of your circle. Get the fuck out and go do things. Try different foods. Go to different restaurants. Go to a restaurant you've never heard of. You know that scene in Avengers, right? Where Tony Stark almost dies. This is a important scene. There's a lot of message behind this scene. Tony Stark almost dies, and he's dead, and the Hulk screams at him. He goes, ah, and he wakes up. It's a little cute, little funny scene. So he almost dies, and they're like, oh my God, are you okay? And what is the first thing he says toward the end of the movie? He says, you know what? I've never had shawarma. And they're like, what? Like, yeah, I've never had shawarma. You ever heard of shawarma? There's a shawarma place. I keep walking by it every day. We should go try. I want to go try. Want to try shawarma with me? And why did he say that? Because he was going to die and he had never experienced it. So go try some fucking shawarma. Shawarma is amazing, by the way. They have it here in Dubai. I'm about to go to Armenia. They have amazing shawarma there. Holy shit. Try different foods. Those of you who are in the dating world, okay, you follow this is Alpha Male 2, but for a minute, I thought this was Sovereign CEO. I was confusing my own brands. Why don't you try, if you have multiple women and you're dating new women all the time, you're already doing that. And hopefully you are doing that if you're not having sex. What the fuck are you doing? But, date a different kind of chick. Date a different kind of chick you've never dated in your life. Try it. See what happens. So I've talked about this. I had never had sex with an Asian woman in my entire life up until a certain point many years ago. And I just was never attracted to Asian girls. They just didn't do it for me. I'm like, oh, they're very pretty and they're very feminine and exotic. And okay, yeah, but I don't want to have sex with one. And one day I met a cute little Asian girl, young Asian girl. And she had big boobs, which is what I do like. I went, oh, an Asian girl with big boobs. Well, that's different. Okay. And she had kind of a big ass too. I'm like, whoa, this is great. And she was tiny and Asian. And I had sex with her and it was mind-blowing. And as soon as I did that, just having sex with one new woman, just this one woman, she is still my friend to this very day. This is a long, long time ago. I started looking at Asian girls very differently. I said, oh, this is Asian. And if you guys who know have had sex with an Asian woman, especially a fresh off the boat Asian woman or an Asian woman living in Asia, instead of some Asian girl who's born or raised in Canada or whatever, no, it's a whole different thing. Just like having sex with a Latina woman who lives in the Latin world, it's a whole different thing, isn't it, than dating a white girl. Having sex with a white girl, it's a whole different thing, right? You guys know who've had sex with Asian girls. And it's a whole different thing. Like, ooh, I want more of that. That's amazing. And I started dating a lot of Asian girls. Had an Asian girlfriend at one point. It was great. I would have never known that if I had not branched out and tried something new. Quick little fun little vignette from my recent dating life. Not super recent, but a little while ago. This never ended up happening because she left the country. But there was a particular person I was talking to, a woman who I never had sex with. And she was the type of woman I've never had sex with before. She was black. And when I mean black, she was African, from Africa. And she was short, petite, very pretty, like a model hot face. Okay, I'm not into black girls, but ugh. She had one of those hairdos. I'm sure there's a name for it, but I don't know. You know how some black girls have this hairdo where it's like a fro, it's an afro, but instead of being a circle all around her head, it hangs on either side of her head. So it's just this long, not long, it goes down to her shoulders, but it's like poofs out like a big fro. I was like, I've never been with a woman like that in my entire life. Never been who looks like this. I've been with dark-skinned women, but not like this. So we were talking and we made some plans, but she left. So it didn't happen. But I was willing to try it, even though that is not my archetype at all, because I'm willing to try new things and experience life and learn what it is I like and what it is I don't. Now, am I saying if you date a new girl, you will instantly discover your passion, your meaning in life? No, but that might lead to something else that will. This happens all the time. One of my mentors, Brian Tracy, used to tell me all the time. You say, most successful people, most successful men in particular, they think they're successful by going down this hallway and opening up that door. And what they find is on the way to that door, there's another door that they never paid any attention to before, but they wouldn't have seen it had they not gone down that door. And they hit that door on the way down to the main door, and they open that door and go, oh my God, this is way better. And they go into a different hallway, and then they achieve success. So often you achieve success in life, not from the thing you thought it was going to provide, but something complete, another tangent. But if you're sitting on your ass all day, playing video games, smoking weed, watching Netflix, watching YouTube videos, okay, that counts, farting around the internet, okay, fuck around with politics, doing your bullshit corporate job, you're never going to find these avenues. You got to get out there and try new things. Travel. Now, a lot of you have traveled. Wonderful. There's a lot of you in my audience who haven't traveled internationally. Some of you haven't traveled even domestically. It will change the way you view the world, and it will broaden your horizons in ways you will not expect when you start traveling internationally. And those of you who travel internationally, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm preaching to the choir, I realize, for many of you. But for more of you, I would say more than 50% of you, listening or watching this podcast, you haven't traveled to other countries at all, especially if you're an American, most likely. Or if you have, it was like you spent a week or a few days in Cabo San Lucas or Cancun or something, you went back home. That doesn't count as travel, international travel. Go to exotic places you know nothing about and experience this. I have talked about, and I've written about this in my books, what I experienced the first time I went to Hong Kong. It was almost a spiritual experience for me. I almost cried, and I don't cry. Experiencing that culture, that country, that city, the history of that region, it's amazing to me, and amazing words I can't. And that was a big factor in formulating aspects of my mission. So travel more, get out of there, get out of your circle, get out of your life, get out of your house, do shit, go somewhere different, explore new things. Now, here's another thing. A lot of you guys have things on your to-do list or things in the back of mind, things you've always wanted to do that you've never done. It could be like write a novel. It could be go to this country or do this thing. And you're like, I need to do that someday. And then you never do it. It's time to do it. Get it done. Go try it. Well, I can't right now, Caleb. Okay. Then sit down and make plans to do it in 6 months or a year or 2 years at the most. Get it done. There are so many, Brian Tracy again. He would talk about, he was quoting someone else, I forgot who this was, where the person would say, the quote was, most men die with their music still in them. That's most of you. You've got something inside you that you'll never let out because you're too busy working at your bullshit corporate job or watching Netflix or playing video games. That's what you're doing. Or in some cases, some of you motherfuckers with your monogamous girlfriend or your monogamous wife kissing her ass all day. You can't do this. You can't do this if you don't have a mission. Now, if you have a mission and it's solidified and you're following it, great. You can take time off and do whatever you want. I take some time off, but I have a mission. I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm going. I know why I'm going there. You don't know. If you're one of these people, I don't know my passion. I don't know my mission. What the hell are you doing playing 8 hours of video games a day? You're never going to find your mission that way. I promise you. You're not. Well, Caleb, maybe video games is my mission. You've been playing video games for 5 years, 8 hours a day, and you still don't have a mission. So no, that is proof positive. Video games are not your mission. You get my point? There you go. Well, Caleb, maybe, something in cannabis is my mission, so I can smoke a lot of weed. It doesn't work that way. You would have figured out your mission a long time ago if that were the case. Okay? Now, another thing. There's a strong component of you in my audience. I have assigned a name to you called LISG, L-I-S-G. I did an entire video about this. I suggest you watch it. I forget which channel it's on, but it's the title of the video is something like Why Smart Men Never Make a Lot of Money. Please go watch that video if you have no idea what I'm talking about when I say LISG, L-I-S-G. LISG stands for Low Income Smart Guy. And I go through in that video in detail, one of the most important videos I've ever done, in detail why smart men often don't do anything of significance and don't make any money, You know why? Because they're sitting around thinking about shit all day, and they don't get off their asses and do shit. And so I have had a lot of people in my audience tell me when I say, why haven't you done that yet? Or why have you done this? Why haven't you done your mission? Why haven't you set up your Alpha 2.0 business? Why haven't you started dating multiple women like you want? Things that you want to do and you haven't done. And you'll say, well, I've been thinking about it a lot. I've been analyzing this a lot. It's not like I haven't done nothing, Caleb. I had several guys on our Facebook groups. I'm trying to work on my niche for my business. And, I've been thinking about this for 4 months. I've been busting my ass for 4 months. And I said, thinking about something is not busting your ass. If that's all you're doing, you're not busting your ass. You're lying to me. And he said, yeah, you're right. He thought that thinking about something was taking action. I promise you, you will never discover your mission or discover your passion, assuming you've already done the exercises. You will never find this, ever, by thinking about it. You will find it by going out and doing shit. Doing. There's a book on my bookshelf, right there. If you're watching the video, you're seeing my finger point at a big white book with the letters AC. Guess what book this is? The most important books ever written. These books here, I'll do a video on these, on all these books. This book is a key book. Guess what it's called? Action. Written by Robert Ringer, probably my favorite nonfiction author. In that book, he talks about, and he's right, you get in touch with the essence of the universe when you take action. You get the closest you'll ever get to God when you're taking action, not when you're sitting around and thinking about your mission or thinking about whatever the fuck, thinking about your niche for your Alpha 2.0 business and saying, I don't know what to do, Caleb. I can't find a niche. I don't know how to find what I'm offering, even though I've watched all 800 of your videos and read all your articles and read all your books. I don't have any idea, because you're sitting on your ass. You're not taking action. That's how you find your mission, if you have no idea what it is. Now, maybe you have a strong idea of what it is and it needs to be solidified. I'm not talking, that's different. I'm not talking to you guys. I'm talking to you guys who just don't know, especially if you tried some of the exercises or whatever, or tried other people's exercises on the internet and you still just, I don't know. I promise you're not doing shit. And I have a feeling as I'm saying this, you're kind of nodding your head going, yeah, Caleb's right. I'm not. Get off your asses and go start doing things. I gave you several ideas in this podcast. Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying you need to get out there and take over the world. I'm not saying you need to get out there and do MMA and get beat up. I'm not saying you need to get out there and start banging hundreds of supermodels and say, I can't do that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying you go from never traveled internationally in your life to doing full bore 5 flags like me. Do whatever is in your capability right now. That's fine. Maybe you just need to get out of your house. You know what I used to do? I used to get out of my house. I would do this like 1 day a week. It was very, very cathartic and helpful for me. It really helped me clear my mind and get shit done. I would go out of my house. This is when I lived alone. I would leave my house, grab my laptop, and I would go to, I'm going to recommend this to you. I think I talked about this years ago, one of my coaching programs, one of my old newsletters. I would find the fanciest restaurant in town with the nicest view. So back when I used to live in collapsing Portland, Oregon, there was a restaurant there called Portland City Grill. It used to be called Atwater's before that. And it was at the top floor of the tallest skyscraper in downtown Portland, which is a pathetic little skyscraper because Portland's a pathetic little town. But okay, that's what we had. And it was a fancy restaurant with a beautiful view of the city, the river, and the forest. It was nice. What I would do is I would grab my laptop. I would drive out there, drive downtown, park, go up, get a table by the window, and I would go when no one was there, like around, I used to go in the late morning or after lunch. So after like 1:30, when everyone left for lunch and the restaurant's pretty empty, I know I could get a good table, a good window seat, sit there, 1:30, 2 o'clock, it's perfect. Get the perfect window seat, sit down, get all set up on my laptop. When they come over to ask me what I wanted to eat, I would order the cheapest thing on the menu. And usually what I would get is an iceberg, what's it called? A wedge salad. I've done this in several different restaurants. And the wedge salad is literally, it's a cut of lettuce with some salad dressing on it. And it was an expensive restaurant. So the wedge cost me like $8, $9. I get water to drink. Most expensive restaurant in town, $8. And what I did is I sat there and I worked for like 3, 4, 5, 6 hours at that little window seat. They didn't care. It was a paying customer. So for $8, I was able to rent a beautiful office for several hours to do my work. And it was fantastic. I had so many ideas. The workflow just poured out of me. It was awesome. Do something like that. Even if you know, well, I'm really busy. And I was very busy, but I was able to do things like this, right? If you don't know what your mission is, you don't know your path, you have no idea, you're not doing anything. You're not doing enough. Get off your ass and start doing shit. And you will be shocked at how fast you will actually find your mission or find your passion or at least have a catalyst for these ideas. Every time, just about every time, I see someone ask me, I've done your exercise, I still have no idea what my mission is. I know I'm looking at a guy who isn't doing anything. Not doing shit. Yes, I have my work every day. Yeah, that's what I said. You work at your 9 to 5 corporate bullshit job, and then you go home and smoke weed, or go home and play video games, or watch Netflix, or hang out with your monogamous girlfriend. In other words, you're not doing anything. Not doing shit. Start doing something. Try it. I think you'll be surprised. See you in the next podcast.